Okay, so this is mine and Lou's tech project. For our project, we did an AI investment assistant that helps users build their own personalized portfolios focused on the Chinese stock market. And our project's trying to simulate the behavior of a professional quant fund by combining behavioral finance, real-time data analytics, and AI logical decision. Okay, so describe our code. So when the program launches, it begins by conducting a behavioral investor assessment to get a better understanding of the investor. The system asks the user five questions to better understand them. How much risk can they tolerate? How long do they plan to invest? What do they do when the market drops? And based on these inputs, the program calculates a risk score from 1 to 5 and classifies the user into a specific type investor, such as ultra conservative, balanced, or aggressive. Then this score influences every recommendation that follows. For instance, an aggressive investor receives gross weighted portfolios, while conservative users are steered towards low volatility or dividend paying stocks. This behavior in real world profiling techniques such as robo advisors and human wealth managers alike. Right. After that, after determining the user's portfolio, the program performs a real-time market regime detection using we use Yahoo Finance using an FXI ETF as a proxy for the Chinese stock market. It pulls data prices history, as I mentioned, from the Yahoo stock market and calculates the volatility of the market. Uses to classify the market as a bull run, a neutral period, or high volatility phase. And this is important as it affects the asset allocation. Once this is understood, the user is offered a dynamic stock screener where they can search by sector to get a better understanding of what exactly they want, like a technology, EVs, or healthcare, market cap, and they also have some market cap valuation and risk profile. And the screener includes 10 interactive questions. For example, about the preferences about profitability, government ownership, and regulatory risk. And then filters a curated list of Chinese stocks based on live financial data. For example, if a user selects technology and prefers e-commerce, they may get shown the stock like Alibaba or JD.com. Okay, then once the stocks are selected, the AI will generate a personalized portfolio based on the user's goals and the live market fundamentals. And this program calculates each stock's expected return and volatility using real-time price data and then assigns weight based on the user's risk profile. For example, conservative users get allocations that prioritize stability and capital preservation, while investors are seeing more allocation toward high growth but volatile stocks. And these and then the tool produces outputs. It shows a graph. It shows a graph of the stock's history up of the graph's performance on the stock market for the past 4 years, I believe, and a risk return scanner plot with the user profile marked as a star on the chart. It also displays the expected annual return volatility and the Sharpe ratio. And then finally, so the user feels more confidence in our program, we have offers a stress test module where it stimulates how the user's portfolio would perform under historical cases, such as the 2015 China market crash, the 2020 COVID dip, or regulatory crackdown. Each crisis applies a negative shock to the portfolio's expected return, and the results are displayed both numerically and with a color-coded bar chart. And this prepares the user for the downside risk. At the end of the process, the system can generate a comprehensive investment report which summarizes the user's investor profile, market environment, and asset allocation. It also provides a detailed history of the history of the company, what they stand for. So that's basically how the code works, and that will show a live demonstration of that. Sorry, this is from my okay. So let's say I am risky for I want to take risks and I see my investment in the short term, and I'll say I maximize returns. I mean, I for preservation, and I'll say I sell in a panic, and I don't check. And okay, now this is really get your options as demonstrated before. So I'll just generate a profile, and I'll say by sector because I'm interested in EVs, how the EVs, how China is investing in EVs is going to affect the car market, so I'll say by sector, and I'll say EVs. So now it's going to give me further questions to narrow down what specifically I want in the EV market. For example, I want a vehicle manufacturer. I'll put a, and I want a market leader. And so these are the recommendations it will give me. So after this, some of the problems we had throughout the project is I encountered several technical and problems shaped the evolution. One of the most problems was the unreliability of the financial data. Sometimes it would just make up stocks completely, or it would say it's unavailable to give you data. So it took me a week to realize how to figure it out. I had to download a file into Google Colab to do it. Another hurdle was the risk modeling, translating users' behavior response, such as their tolerance to volatility or reaction to market crashes. It required experimentation with different score systems and different formulas I defined that I find from Google because the ones DeepSeek and Claude were giving me weren't working as well. That didn't work at all. It kept on giving me error messages, or it says one specific line does not work at all. So I had to look up several YouTube videos how to do this. And then perhaps the most challenge was crafting the user's experience that was both educational and without being overwhelming. When they first started this project, I wanted it to get it to you always make a profit on the project. But the problem with that is it would give me very nuanced and technical terms in the financial world that I did not think that the average user would understand. So I decided that it would be better fit if I can just tailor it more specific and get as narrow as possible. So I realized that a user can understand the question. Like I've asked several questions on this, the user understand what's going on. And so after and that's what's going so I understand what's going on because it doesn't give them all the different complicated like how the market's doing and so on. Okay, so and then for my project I used Claude and I used DeepSeek for Claude, I had several challenges, as mentioned before, with the financial data. It kept because Claude kept on saying it gets cut off. Like it wouldn't post the full code. It kept on getting cut off. So then it would say, "Oh, I have to break this up into two." And then when it broke it up into two sections, it would not work at all. It would say indentation errors, and they would not work. So then I turned to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT, when I'd say, "Oh, fix this code," ChatGPT would rewrite it completely, and then it would say, give me a lot of lines of errors. And then when I tried plugging it back into ChatGPT, it would just fix that one specific line. But then sometimes that line, it would just recopy the same thing and then it would not work. Or I say, just give me a big chunk of code, and then ChatGPT would fix it, but then there'd just be a bunch of indentation errors afterwards. So I realized this weekend, I realized how to fix it. I turned to DeepSeek, and then DeepSeek was the best one in my opinion. It did all the functions I mentioned above, and it fixed all my indentation errors. Okay, so then, as mentioned before, I will plot the performance. I'll say why. And then, as you've seen above, this is the risk return profile. And this will show you the stocks, like how it's doing over it plots the performance of the stock. And that, I believe, if I believe is all. Thank you for, sorry the project is late in advance, but thank you.